Oh no. 4. And I bet we've all been there. We've hit that horrible, big, nasty slice, whether it goes out of bounds, into trees. It's a shot that we all hate. But today's lesson, I'm going to run through a drill that I've been doing with my students recently that is going to help you get rid of that slice. Let's get stuck into it. Just to clarify, what is the slice? For a right-handed player, it's a ball that starts left of our target and then swings to the right-hand side and misses the target to the right-hand side. Sometimes it can be more vicious than the others. Like I said a minute ago, it might end up out of bounds, in trees, water, whatever it may be, or it might just end up in the rough. But it's a shot that plagues most golfers. And this drill that I've been doing, it's sort of 2 stages, and if we can get used to doing it, I've found great success with it. So I wanted to share it with you guys, hopefully in a hope that you can start to see that we're getting rid of those slices. Now there's 2 components to it. What we've got to understand is that when we're hitting a slice, we've got the face of the club. If we were looking at you now as the target, we've got the face of the club looking in one direction as the club is swinging in a different direction. So almost we have this sort of look like this about the vector of the club as we're going through. So first things first, what we've got to do is try and fix the face, and then we're going to fix the way the club is swinging after that. So let's have a look at how we're going to fix the face first. Okay, so looking at the face first, and as we do this, we're going to change down to a 7-iron just so we get some awareness of what we're doing. If we're trying to do it with driver, it's too hard and you'll probably get a little bit disheartened with it. Going to a 7 makes it a little bit easier making 3/4 swings. But like I say, first things first, we've got to fix the club face, and generally what we see is a face that is looking right of where the club is swinging left. So it might just be pointing just fractionally left of target, but the club could be swinging 10-15 degrees left of that target. But what generally isn't happening, if we think of the face now, as it's coming through, it's not releasing over like so. We're not letting the face actually close. And one of the things that I would imagine is happening, a lot of slicers start to aim even further left, which in turn means I have to hold the face even more to get that ball going back towards my target. So what we need to try and do is develop a release feeling. So firstly, you know, check your grip. There's other tutorials for the grip on the channel already, but what we don't want to see is that it's too weak, where we would see both of the hands or one of the hands turned too much towards the target like so. If anything, we would try and aid a little bit of a stronger grip, but what we've got to try and do, like I say, is get the club releasing, and I like to think of it as the toe passing the heel. So there's the toe hanging back behind the heel, there's the toe in front of the heel. And simply what we would see from a lot of slicers is that as we come through, because we're trying to hold that face to target, is something where we see the forearms looking in a position like this, where we never see the trail forearm getting on top of the lead forearm. So we don't want to see that we just flip it like so as we're going through like this. What we want to actually have is a general and gradual passing of that toe over the heel. So as we're coming through it, we would see something where it's looking a little bit more like so. As though we do that here, we would see that the face opens and closes as we're going through there to the target. To the arc, it's staying square, but what I need to have happen is that face starting to work over. So I would like you to make some small practice swings where you're feeling this, and the main aim, like I say, it's not full swings, all full power. It's all about getting this finish here. If I can get this trail forearm on top of my lead one, I'm going to see that my club is now actually releasing. And one big thing, don't try and do that after you've hit the golf ball, because that's too late. What we've got to make sure is that we're doing it as we're coming into the golf ball. So like I say, it's a gradual thing. It's not something that just snaps and happens at impact. We want to have it happening all the way through the downswing and into that follow through there. So we'd have a few practice swings here, feeling this motion of letting the club pass over, toe over the heel. Then what we want to do from there, take our setup, and the big aim for this, left is good. We want to see that that ball's going left, because we know then that the face is closing. So feeling that forearm rotation, letting it happen with just a small swing, and there just a small one as we see there from that angle as well. Now I've got my forearms crossed and my ball has just curved out to the left hand side. From there then, once you've got that feeling and you're understanding the club release, what we now need to do is change that club path from just glancing across the golf ball to the left hand side. So here's how we're going to do that. So how are we going to get the club changing? A lot of times we would see like canes behind us here trying to change the direction of our downswing, but what I've been finding with quite a few lessons is that if we change sort of the impact feeling and the post impact feeling, so after we've hit the golf ball, that starts to really help us. So here I'm going to use one of these, the Wedge Pro little foam blocks. You could use a basket, a head cover, as long as if you are to hit it with your club, as long as it's going to cause no damage, that's the main thing. But what I find now is that if I take my setup to my golf ball, and if I just put this block stood up like so, in the old swing with my slicer swing, when I'm trying to hold the face towards my target, it means that the club is dragging across my body like so, so I'd feel that my hands are getting tight into my torso here, and I get no real extension out that way, and ultimately I would probably hit this foam block. As where with this now as a visual aid, and it's going to give me feedback if I do hit it, what it makes me want to do is get the club traveling from the inside and away out from the block, so we see my hands now extending from my torso instead of pulling across and then getting that separation of the forearms. I would want to feel now that I blend this feeling of my rotation of my forearms whilst just trying to swing away and not clip this training aid there. So again, lots of practice swings there, taking your setup so you can just get the feeling of the rotation. And this is just a visual aid. Your brain knows it doesn't want to hit that. It knows it's bad. So as soon as it goes in, you almost get away straight away from having this glancing feeling. And the big sort of thing I talk to about a feeling with my students is, imagine throwing your golf club out to the right side of the fairway. You would feel like it's coming from in behind you and you would release it off down towards the right here. If we were going to throw it to the right side of the fairway, I wouldn't release it off in this direction as I'm going through. So lots of practice swings, really getting that in mind. And like I say, if you get this happening, you are still coming in across it. So make sure it is in a point where you can just glance it, like I say, without any damage, but you want to have the ability to be able to swing out to the right and not clip it. From there, then we blend these two things together. We get this forearm rotation and the feeling of releasing that club down the right hand side. And like I say, we might actually get a few little draws here, but again, left's not a bad thing here. It'll probably take a few to get your ball starting right and turning back, but nice and smooth. And there we go, just started a bit straight but has drawn off, and it's nicely away from that slice shot. So then once I've got into that, I'm going to progress into my final driver. So let's give that one a go. So then blending it in with your driver, and like I say guys, this is something that's going to take a little bit of time. You know, if it is a problem with the driver, I do recommend doing it with your irons so you can get the feeling, because even just that forearm rotation feeling, because we're swinging the driver a lot quicker, to try and actually get that at speed is quite difficult. So a good little station to work with when we are doing it in small movements, slow speeds, just to get that repetition. But here now, move that in slightly because I've got a longer club. Once you're then comfortable with it, bring the driver back in and just try and exaggerate these feelings. If you hit a little bit of a hook, that's absolutely fine. What we're trying to see is that we're not getting that slice. As long as it's straighter, or even if it just limits your slice, if you turn your 30-yard slice into a 4 or 5 yard fade, job's good from there. So good setup, feel this rotation, avoid the block, and then from there, let's see if we can get rid of a little bit of slice. So as we see there, really reduce that slice, literally a 2 yard fade for me, which is pretty much standard. So if you're looking to really get rid of that slice, try this drill. Make sure, like I say, the foam block or whatever it is isn't going to cause any damage to your shaft. If you do hit it, give yourself some room to pass by, and then from there we're going to get that forearm release blended in, and we should see that we're getting rid of those strikes. I've seen great results with it in my lessons, guys, so make sure you are giving it a go. Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button for me as well. If you want to get better at golf, hit that subscribe button. I want you to improve, and you do that with your free lessons here on the channel with me, and I'll see you in your next one.